Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Ukraine-Russia war. Russia warns NATO over Sweden and Finland, says there could be no more talk of a nuclear-free Baltic, as it happened. Posted Wednesday 13 April 2022 at 10:07 p.m, updated 16 hours ago. Space to play or pause, M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Russia is warning NATO it will bolster its military defenses if Sweden and Finland join the bloc. Catch up on Thursday's updates on our blog. Key events. Live updates. Russia's Baltic threats are nothing new, says Lithuania PM. Russia's threat to increase its military in the Baltic region is nothing new, according to Lithuania's Prime Minister Inga Simonite. The Kremlin has warned of increased activity in the Baltic region, including nuclear activity, if Sweden or Finland join NATO. That Russia threatens it is nothing new, Ms. Simonite said, according to Reuters. Kaliningrad is a very militarized zone, has been for many years, and it is in the Baltic region. Russia's Kaliningrad exclave, on the shore of the Baltic Sea, is sandwiched between NATO members Lithuania and Poland. Ukraine in talks for $10.8 billion financial support. Ukraine's finance minister says there are ongoing talks with foreign partners for Ukraine to receive $8 billion $10.8 billion, in financial support. In a televised address, CE Marchenko said his country had already received $3.5 billion from overseas. He said Ukraine did not have an issue with repaying debts, despite its war with Russia. UK says the towns of Kramatorsk and Kosta-Antoniva could be next Russian targets. The Ukrainian towns of Kramatorsk and Kosta-Antoniva are likely to be targeted by Russia, according to the UK's Defence Ministry. In its daily update, the Ministry of Defence said the attacks would be similar to those experienced in other cities. It also said Russia had returned to traditional military doctrine, with widespread missile and artillery strikes and efforts to concentrate forces for an offensive. The ministry added that Ukraine's continued defense of Mariupol was currently tying down significant numbers of Russian troops and equipment. Russia issues warning to NATO over Sweden and Finland. Russia is warning NATO it will bolster its military defense if Sweden and Finland join the alliance. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, also said there could be no more talk of a nuclear-free Baltic. Until today, Russia has not taken such measures and was not going to, Mr. Medvedev said. If our hand is forced, well, take note at wasn't us who proposed this. There have been suggestions Sweden and Finland could join NATO in the wake of Russia's war in Ukraine. Last week foreign ministers of NATO nations, as well as allies such as Australia, met and discussed the possibility of Sweden and Finland joining. Moskva, a ship in the Russian Navy's Black Sea Fleet, has been badly damaged and its crew evacuated amid the country's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Russian officials claimed the damage was the result of a fire on board, while a Ukrainian official claimed it was a result of a Ukrainian missile strike. Moskva is one of Russia's most critical warships. The 12,500-ton ship usually has a crew of about 500 people. Ukrainian authorities said Moskva featured in one of the landmark early exchanges of the war in Ukraine, when Ukrainian border guards on Snake Island, a small outcrop in the Black Sea, told the ship to go yourself after it demanded they surrender. The Moskva is the second Russian warship to suffer serious damage. Last month, Ukraine said it had destroyed a Russian landing support ship, the Isk, on the smaller Sea of Azov. 9 humanitarian corridors agreed for Thursday. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk says a deal is in place to allow civilians to evacuation through 9 humanitarian corridors on Thursday, including from the besieged city of Mariupol. Other evacuation routes include from Berdyansk, Tokmak and Enerhoda. Corridors in the eastern Luhansk region will operate if occupying Russian forces stop shelling, Ms. Vereshchuk said in a statement. Constant threat continues. Ukraine authorities speak at daily briefing. Ukraine's army says there is still a constant threat of Russia using missile weapons across Ukraine. Armed Forces spokesperson Alexander Shpetun said in a daily briefing that Russia continued carrying out systematic strikes against military and civilian infrastructure in the Kharkiv, Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia regions. He said heavy fighting continued in the battered city of Mariupol. Mr. Shpetun also said Russia was trying to conduct forced mobilization in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Nordic countries turning to NATO. European Union nations Finland and Sweden have reached important stages on the way to possible NATO membership, with the Finnish government issuing a security report to MPs and Sweden's ruling party initiating a review of security policy options. Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24.